I think it's time that I talk about it. Honestly, I don't really know how to feel right now because I don't know whether or not I should be going to class. And there's a lot behind that. But it doesn't really feel like a new semester for me. Probably because everything that I have been dealing with, I've been getting the runaround with the school today, and things are just feeling very unorganized. And I know everyone's experience is different. However, I do know that right now I am not feeling it. I'm still trying to figure out what God wants me to do. Should I stay? Should I go? And so it's like a part of me wants to go because, another chance, whatever. But then another part of me is just like, am I wasting my time? Like I said, them being unorganized this past couple of weeks has really made me not want to. It just makes me feel super uneasy. And it's like, all right, God, I don't know if I should be doing this or not because I just have not heard him clearly. So I don't know. Hopefully after I leave class today, I feel a little better, but we'll see, y'all. But anywho, check out the full video as to why or how this even came about, me even finishing the PhD program right now. So, peace. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Margaret 𝐤𝐿. If you are new here, hello my love. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Go ahead and click the like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification so that when I do post a video that you are able to see it first. Okay, let's get straight into it. So, disclaimer, this is not to bash UCF. And this is not to scare anyone away from going to pursue this degree. However, I do think that you should dig deeper into what program you are trying to get into. This is me sharing my experience. Like I said, this is not to bash UCF, but it's just to share what I went through in this program. Okay, I'm gonna go back to first semester because it started in first semester. So my first semester, everything went well. Sorry, I have my iPad in front of me because I tend to go on a tangent, so I want to make sure that I stay on task. So 3 classes means full-time, 2 classes mean part-time. I went in full-time, working 40 hours a week on top of that, and they do suggest not to work. However, somebody got to pay the bills. So I take 2 of my classes, but it was a challenge because, of course, I have never taken a doctoral program before, let alone a class, so like it was different for me. One of my professors was super duper nice. She, when she noticed that something was wrong, she made sure to explain it to me thoroughly and make sure that I got it so that the next time I wouldn't make the same mistake. However, I got another professor, mind you, there are 2 classes that go hand in hand with each other. She ends up telling me, basically, she was one of those professors who were like, she felt like you needed to know everything. But I'm hearing from everybody else, don't beat yourself down, you don't know this is us, this is why we have to teach this to you guys, so don't be so hard on yourself, right? Well, no, this professor was like, y'all should know this, X, Y, and Z. So I went into that class feeling like, what am I even doing here? Like, I literally started questioning everything. But then I go to my other classes and I'm like, I belong here. Like, this is where God wants me to be. It was like, if I did bad in one of my classes, it'd affect the second class. The professor actually ended up reporting me because I didn't cite correctly. Though I made sure, so what happened was I was using the old version of citing and we weren't supposed to be using it. There was a whole new version that I clearly did not know, and this was something that I felt like Florida State did fail us because though they were like on us about citations, they weren't as strict. So once I got to this program, it was a whole nother ball game. So she ended up reporting me. I had to go through this whole thing, whole board. I was freaking out. I was scared. Man, this is my first semester. I don't know what the heck. Of course, I let my family know. We go through the whole board, and now they're like giving me tips, telling me all the stuff that I should watch, because I'm a visual learner. So they start telling me all this stuff I should watch. Be careful not to watch old YouTube videos, because I do go on YouTube and watch videos, because, you know, YouTube University. Long story short, I ended up getting a C in that class. For those who keep saying C's get degrees, in graduate programs, they do not get degrees. C's don't get degrees. Like, even when I was in my master's program, though I had not had to worry about getting a C, I hated when people said that. So now I hate it even more, because I'm like, it do not. So basically, C is technically failing, and you have to retake the class over. Move on to spring semester. Now I'm doing spring semester, work gets busy. And now I'm like, dang. So 2 of my classes I'm doing great, 1 class I'm not doing so good in. This professor made it seem like she was helping me. I don't know, she just, honestly, I don't know. So she made it seem like she was helping me, and at the end of the day, I ended up getting a C in her class. So were you really helping me, or you're not helping me? Because I'm one of those people also, I started to record when my professors would talk through their lessons, and I would literally record everything. Every meeting, I'll record everything, because I needed to make sure that when I went back to complete the paper, that I was doing exactly what they asked me. And I did exactly what she asked me. However, I turned in the paper. I think I got a D on the paper, and it brought my grade down, so now I have a C in the class. So 2 semesters just flew by, and now I got a C. So it gets to the point where I'm like, what am I going to do? Because my GPA is going down. And so I'm like, okay, well, this was probably like the hardest thing I had to do. I was like, my mentality going into the program was, okay, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done. I don't know why I felt in a rush to complete it, but that's where my mindset was. It was like, all right, go get it and get done and be done. I had to take a step back, reevaluate my whole life. I noticed that I was stressed to the point where, like, I was not eating when I was supposed to be eating. I was mentally, physically drained from the program. It was almost like they were sucking their life out of me. Like, I remember at one point, I was like, I wasn't even doing the things that made me happy anymore, because I needed to focus on this. So I spoke with the professor, and she basically told us that we needed to calm down. We needed to, because she said honestly, it's easier said than done. She said that one of the things that she regretted was that she did not get the chance to spend as much time with her kids when she was during the doctoral program that she felt like she should have, and things like that. And so she was like, though this program is important, your mental health matters. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm like not doing self-care, and I'm big on self-care. I'm telling people to do self-care, and I'm over here barely even thinking about self-care, because I need to make sure that I pass my classes so that I don't fail. I was like, all right, God, I had that conversation with God, like, God, what do you want me to do? Because at this point, I guess I should slow down. I'm always doing good in 2 classes, so maybe why not go part-time? That was so hard. I called one of my friends, and I was like, look, like, this is hard, whatever. So then I started realizing, like, okay, what makes me happy? Does slowing down make me happy? Because I'm not about to kill myself for a program. That I will not do. And if I gotta slow down, then I need to slow down. And I had to realize everyone's pace is different. Everyone's journey is different. My journey is different from this journey. I had to realize, like, everybody's journey is different. I gotta do what I gotta do for Margaret. And so after having that conversation with God and, like, a few family members and things like that, it was best that I go down to part-time. So made the decision to go to part-time. Was the best decision I made, because I felt a big relief off my shoulders. I wasn't stressing so much. So one of the things they told me was that I needed to reach out to the writing center, and I needed to reach out to my colleagues or like another professor that can help assist me. Well, here's the thing. I've reached, and it wasn't that I had not reached out. So the plan that they set in place, it wasn't like I was not doing it. I was already doing it. So they were telling me things to do, and it was like, okay, well, that's not working. So the plan was for me moving forward to bring my GPA up, I needed to get an A- or better, right? So summer term come down. your girl is good. I'm living. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm able to make sure I do this, make sure I do that. I have a dog, make sure I'm taking care of my dog the way that she needs to be taken care of. Like, everything was good. Class was, I can't say it was easy. It was definitely difficult. However, it was more manageable. And plus, all of a sudden, work started to become less and less busy, right? So I have an A the entire time this semester. Next thing you know, I turned in my paper. So we noticed that during talking about what we were going to do as far as me moving forward, we noticed that I was thinking more clinically, and I can't think like a clinician. I had to think like a researcher, and that was my downfall. Like, how they wanted us to write these papers, it was like you have to come up with one question, and there's different sections for each thing. So like, there are times where if you get on one topic, you can go different directions and forget your main question. And so that was like a thing for me. Like, I had to make sure I had an outline for it, right? I turned in my final paper, right? I have an A this whole summer, right? Turn in my final paper, and next thing you know, that final paper brought my grade down to a B, y'all, a B. So I'm freaking out. I called my mom, called my boyfriend. I am like freaked out. I'm crying because I'm like, I already know what it is. Like, I was like, they're gonna kick me out of the program. Because remember, I'm supposed to get an A- or better. They were like, calm down. Maybe you should go and reach out to the professor. Just reminding me like the favor that God will have over my life, and whatever the outcome is, I'm gonna be okay, blah, blah, blah. So mentally, I was gone. I was like, God, what is going on? So at this point, I'm talking to God, and I'm like, wait, but God, what's going on? Because you allowed me to get into this program. I prayed for this. I wanted this. And now I'm in this program. And now I'm basically about to get kicked out. Like, what, God? Like, what? Tell me what? So getting their response and how everybody was like, don't think like that. Everyone was just saying, think positive, think positive. I have to be okay with the outcome. Like, if they decide they want to kick me out of the program, I have to be okay with that. If they decide to keep me, I'm going to work 10 times harder, right? So now at this point, we got a week before this, it was 2 weeks before fall semester started, and I needed to know what was going on. So the minute I found out about it, I did reach out to my professor, y'all. He did not respond back to me. So I was like, oh, okay, sir. Okay. You was responding back. All of a sudden, responding back after I told you. But it's all good. So, keep it pushing. So I reach out to my advisor. She's leaving. She's like, you need to reach out to so-and-so, which is another person who's on board, who knew my situation and knew what was going on. So I reached out to her, didn't hear anything. A week goes by, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Classes start on Monday. So finally, she responds back on Monday. Right, y'all, I've been waiting for 2 weeks for a response. I did not get a response. So Monday come, first day of classes. I'm already registered for fall classes. So I'm like, if I don't go, I don't want to be penalized for not going. So I go to class, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Get to class, and I'm sitting in class, I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I doing here? Because I don't even know what to do. Y'all, my mind was like everywhere. Because, like I said, I don't know what to do. I'm like, this person not responding back. Should I even be here? Like, now I'm sitting in class, my eyes getting watery, thinking, God, what am I going to do? I finally get a response from the lady who I needed to reach out to. Reach out to her so that she refers me to the director. So now, y'all, I'm even more irritated. Reach out to the director, no response. He finally responds late that night. I'm sorry, but I don't know why. I think it's just so, I don't know, maybe because we grown. I don't know. I thought it was so inappropriate that he messaged me at like 11 something at night. And it, like I said, could just be me. I'm all about professionalism, so it blew me. But whatever, he responded. So he was like, can we schedule an appointment? I said, sure. Have a meeting with him the next day on the phone. He asked me to give him a background of what was going on. So I give him the background of what was going on. And he basically was no help. Let me tell you how this conversation went. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm doing everything that I can. Basically telling him why I even got into the program. What is my ultimate goal? What do I want out of it? X, Y, and Z, right? So then I tell him, you know, I've tried it's to the point, y'all, I felt like I tried everything. Like, everything they referred, everything that I could possibly do, I tried it, and I was not getting anything. Like, I was not progressing. And so I was like, you know, you guys tell me to reach out to the writing center. I've been reaching out to the writing center since my first semester, and it was no help. It was almost as if they didn't even know how to help me. So I was like, that don't make any sense. Y'all referring me to the writing center, but they're not even helping me. So then, you know, I reached out to my colleagues. Yes, my colleagues were amazing. My cohort was amazing. They, especially when it came to like that citing situation that I had in the first semester, they helped me tremendously. Like, just give me a bunch of different examples, X, Y, and Z. And I got that. Now the citing was okay. That was perfect. That was a one-time thing, and I got that correct, right? So when so they would tell me to reach out to professors, and I reached out to a couple of professors, and I have not gotten any response. But you could respond to say, hey, I can't do this right now. I'm gonna refer you to somebody else, but to not get a response was like the worst thing ever. So I basically tell him all of that. He goes, I don't even know why they referred you to the writing center. The writing center is for undergrad and master's level students. They wouldn't be able to help me. They wouldn't be able to help me. So there he goes. Then when you reach out to professors and stuff, they all got stuff they need to get done too. So I'm like, is that not what I just said? And for you to be a director to say that, it was like, in my mind, even if you could not come up with a solution on the phone right then and there, totally fine. But you gave me nothing, but repeated what I just said. So how are y'all helping me? How are y'all supporting me? Because at this point, y'all not supporting me as far as helping me with learning what I needed to get. Y'all not supporting me financially. And remind y'all, PhD is supposed to be paying y'all money to go. And they don't pay you much at all, but it's something. When you are part-time, you don't have any help. Because those assistantships that you sign up for and those graduate studies things that you sign up for, those are for full-time level students. So being that I went part-time, receiving anything went out the window. Those who don't know, because I was adopted, I have an independent living waiver. So this waiver pays my classes up until I turn 28. So it was by the grace of God that my classes even got paid for. However, I still got to put food on the table. I still got to pay rent. I still got to pay car. Like, I still have to be an adult.
Because I don't want to be an adult.
I'm on the phone literally crying because I'm like, I don't know what to do. So the director asked me he asked me, how should we move forward? So at that point, y'all, I couldn't even give him an answer. He ends up telling me that he needs to think about it and he'll let me know, he'll make a decision by tonight. So I'm like, okay. So now, right, y'all, they dragging me. Now I'm feeling like they dragging me. Just tell me what it is, man. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be good. So just tell me what it is. So that night, didn't get a response. Then that next morning, he reached out and he was like, we need to schedule a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and it had to be, the graduate assistant needed to be on the Zoom meeting with him as well. So that to me, just made me feel like they were gonna kick me out of the program. So I was like, okay. But mind y'all, now I'm like, y'all dragging it, just tell me what it is. So he asked me for a date. I tell him when I'm available, and he bypasses what I tell him, and then schedule it for the next day. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Yeah, so I had the meeting, and he was like, before we get to the bad news. So in my head, I'm thinking, I don't even want to, you just told me what the bad news, you just told me that there was going to be bad news, so why would I want to stay on the phone with you? So he basically said he tried to work things out, but at the end of the day, having those A's wasn't going to bring my GPA up enough, blah, blah, blah. So basically it would have been pointless if I were to do 2 classes the fall semester. If I did 2 classes and got an A- or better, that would only put me at a 2.9. Of course, like, I'm crying, of course. Because, like, you know, like I said, I kind of already mentally made it up in my mind that it was going to be, what they were going to tell me. But to actually hear it was different. Like, overall, I felt like that conversation was just so horrible. I was like, as a director, your program is very unorganized. And what I mean by just not even just all that I went through, but I straight up told him before we had the last meeting, before he told me that I wasn't going to be in the program, or he had to dismiss me. He asked me if I had anything else I needed to tell him. I told him, look, I'm not going to speak for everybody else because I know how everybody else feels. We all feel the same way. I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but I know for me, I feel like I'm not being supported. And this program is all over the place. Literally, people are leaving left and right. My second spring semester, apparently we had to take our QEs. So QEs are basically, there's 2 exams, 2 QEs. And those are a very important exam, writing exam that you need to take in order to even go to the next level as far as like starting on your dissertation process. So they told us we need to take this class second semester. We were like, but wait, how are we going to take the class and we haven't taken the appropriate class in order to take this exam? So, mind y'all, at this point, we start freaking out. We're like, okay, so we got to start studying for it. So we start studying for it. Then next thing you know, they tell us towards the end of the semester, oh, if you don't feel ready, you don't have to take it. So things were just very unorganized, and I hate that. I really do hate that. I'm just like, is that even trying? Because y'all suggested me to go to a writing center that wasn't even going to be able to help me. Yeah, so that's what happened. Right now, I don't know what to do. I have been going to school forever. I think I should just take a break, reset, and if this is something that God really wants me to do, and that I need, I will go back, find a different program, definitely not UCF program. I think I thought I was gonna get emotional talking about it, but I just got mad all over again, just thinking about how like unsupportive they were. And like, here's the thing, there's certain professors who were supportive, but the program as a whole was horrible. I wish the outcome could have been different. Yeah. Other than that, life is good. Like I said, I had a bump in the road. I did have my day where I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. Didn't want to eat. Didn't want to do anything. I mean that's a natural part of life. You know, when you hear something so devastating and just, you know, something you wanted and something you talked about doing and it's not happening. But though it's not happening now, doesn't mean I cannot not get it. And so maybe it just means trying a different program. Maybe it just means that God, like I said, I don't know what God wants me to do, but I could just say like maybe it can just be that God wants me to focus on the curriculum. Like, you know, my ultimate goal was to create a nonprofit for victims who have been sexually abused. Maybe God wants me to focus on that now. Like, why am I waiting? It's a lot of things that I felt like I was waiting to do because of the program. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep pushing, no matter how hard my days are. It's still hard to wrap my head around it, but I'm gonna be okay. Especially knowing that I have the best support system in my life. I think I'm just at that point I'm like, all right, God, I'm gonna do what you want me to do, whatever that is, whatever that even looks like. But I wanted to share that with you all because one, I'm not gonna lie on social media. That's one thing I'm not gonna do, lie on social media. No. And I want y'all to see the downfalls. I want y'all to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so that this video is not to scare anyone not to go and get their PhD. I definitely think if that is your heart's desire to. However, just keep in mind that it is tough. It's hard. And I can't sugarcoat that. It is tough. It is hard. You have to learn so much, and having the right program will go a long way. So, fortunately, that program just was not for me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. I am back posting consistently. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for, like I said, I don't want y'all, the negative energy, I don't want. The pity party, I don't want. Because I'm not there. And I just can't be, and I can't go back. I gotta move forward. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, there'll be more videos, and I don't know, maybe there's something that I missed that y'all want me to break down, do another video on, I will do. Yeah, I love you guys.